The diagnosis came on a Thursday: Ehlers-Danlos syndrome with severe complications. A rare connective tissue disorder causing chronic pain, joint dislocations, and organ dysfunction. Dr. Sarah Kim, Chief of Genetics at University Medical Center, delivered the news after 2 years of testing. "Alexis, this explains everything. The pain, the dislocations, the complications. You weren't imagining it." My parents sat across from me in the consultation room. Dr. Richard Hayes and Dr. Margaret Hayes, both family practice physicians with a joint practice in town. My father checked his watch. "So it's a chronic pain condition. Manageable with lifestyle changes. It's a serious genetic disorder requiring specialized care," Dr. Kim corrected. "Alexis will need a multidisciplinary team: pain management, physical therapy, genetic counseling, cardiology monitoring." "Cardiology?" My mother laughed. "For joint pain? This sounds like another one of those trendy diagnoses." Dr. Kim's expression hardened. "EDS can cause life-threatening cardiovascular complications. This isn't trendy. It's serious. We're physicians, Dr. Kim. We've been practicing for 30 years. My father stood. "Our daughter has a history of health anxiety. This diagnosis just gives her medical language to justify it." They left before Dr. Kim could respond. I sat there, the genetic test results in my hands, proof of a condition that had made my life agony for 26 years. "I'm so sorry," Dr. Kim said quietly. "Your parents are wrong. Medically and ethically wrong. They'll never believe me. Then we'll find people who do." My parents' 30th wedding anniversary party was at the country club. 200 guests. Half of them were medical professionals, colleagues, hospital administrators, pharmaceutical reps. I arrived using my wheelchair, the one my parents claimed I didn't need, that I was using for attention. Alexis actually came. My younger brother Marcus announced loudly. In her dramatic wheelchair. "Shocking." My mother rushed over, her smile tight. "Darling, did you have to bring that? You know how it looks. I dislocated my hip yesterday. I can't walk. You could try harder." She lowered her voice. "Please. Our colleagues are here. Can you not make a scene?" I wheeled past her into the ballroom. The evening was exactly what I expected. Medical professionals discussing cases, my parents holding court about their successful practice, Marcus bragging about his surgical residency. Then the conversation turned to me. "What's Alexis up to these days?" Dr. Patterson, a hospital administrator, asked politely. "Oh, she's still figuring things out," my mother said with practiced sympathy. "She has some health issues. Chronic pain, fatigue. Very difficult to diagnose." "We actually got a diagnosis," I said from my wheelchair. "Ehlers-Danlos syndrome." My father laughed. "A fashionable diagnosis for people who can't handle normal life stress." Several doctors exchanged uncomfortable glances. "EDS is a genetic connective tissue disorder," Dr. Patterson said carefully. "It's quite serious. It's also frequently overdiagnosed," my mother countered. "Alexis has always been sensitive about her body. She interprets normal aches and pains as medical emergencies." "I've had 23 joint dislocations in 2 years," I said quietly. 3 surgeries. Cardiac monitoring for potential aortic complications. That's not overdiagnosis. See. My father gestured at me. "She's memorized medical terminology to make it sound serious. Classic health anxiety behavior." Marcus joined in. "Lex has been doing this since high school. Remember when she couldn't run track because of knee pain? Turns out she just didn't want to practice. My kneecap dislocated 5 times that year." "Allegedly," Marcus said, air quoting. I pulled out my phone and made a call. "It's time. It's now. Activate everything." My mother frowned. "Who are you calling?" "My team." "Your team." My father's voice dripped with condescension. "Let me guess, your support group of fellow hypochondriacs?" I smiled and said nothing. 10 minutes later, phones started buzzing throughout the ballroom. Notifications. News alerts. Social media posts. People pulled out their devices, reading. Expressions shifted from curiosity to shock. "Oh my God," someone whispered. My mother checked her phone. Her face went pale. The news was breaking everywhere. University Medical Center announces $50 million expansion. the Alexis Hayes Center for Rare Disease Research. My father grabbed his tablet. What the hell is this? The press release continued. The expansion, funded by philanthropist and rare disease advocate Alexis Hayes, will focus on connective tissue disorders, particularly Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Ms. Hayes, who was misdiagnosed for years by medical professionals including her own physician parents, has pledged her entire inheritance from her late grandmother to creating a center where patients are believed. The ballroom went completely silent. That money was for your future, my mother said, her voice shaking. For when you got healthy. I'm never getting healthy, Mom. I have a genetic disorder. But I am using Grandma's money exactly how she wanted. She left it to me specifically because she saw how you dismissed my pain. My brother was scrolling frantically. There's more. A lot more. The articles were proliferating. Physician parents accused of medical neglect in daughter's misdiagnosis, and new medical center named for patient dismissed by doctor parents. The press release includes a statement from Dr. Sarah Kim. Someone read aloud. Dr. Hayes's parents, both licensed family practice physicians, repeatedly dismissed clear signs of a serious genetic disorder, calling their daughter's documented symptoms health anxiety and attention-seeking behavior. Their professional dismissal delayed diagnosis by years and caused preventable complications. My father's face went from pale to red. You vindictive little. Dr. Hayes. Dr. Patterson stood, his voice cold. I'm the chief administrator at University Medical Center. Your daughter didn't just fund a building. She funded a comprehensive program investigating medical neglect by healthcare provider family members. The initial case studies include her own medical records, documenting years of symptoms you witnessed and dismissed. My mother grabbed my arm. How could you do this to us? Our reputation. Your reputation was built on dismissing patients like me. I removed her hand. The center's research has already identified 43 other patients whose doctor parents delayed critical diagnoses. 3 of them died. That's not, we would never. You told colleagues tonight that I have fashionable health anxiety. I have genetic test results, surgical records, and documented cardiovascular complications. I met their eyes. I'm the face of the center because I survived physician parents who should have known better. Dr. Kim appeared at the ballroom entrance, accompanied by 2 people in business attire. Dr. and Dr. Hayes, she said formally. This is Janet Morrison from the State Medical Board and David Chin from the Medical Ethics Commission. They'd like to speak with you about your daughter's case and the pattern it may represent. The investigation moved swiftly. My parents' medical practice was audited. They found a disturbing pattern. 17 patients with chronic pain conditions or rare diseases had been told their symptoms were psychosomatic or exaggerated. My parents had a documented philosophy of not enabling patient anxiety that translated to systematic dismissal of legitimate medical concerns. 3 patients had developed serious complications from delayed diagnoses. 1 had died from an undiagnosed autoimmune condition my mother had called stress-related fatigue. Their medical licenses were suspended within a month. Marcus called furious. You've destroyed them. Dad's practice is closed. Mom's under investigation. Their entire career. Built on dismissing patients who didn't fit their worldview, I finished. I'm one of dozens. The investigation proved it. You did this for revenge. I did this so other patients won't suffer what I did. The Hayes Center will research why physicians dismiss family members and how to prevent it. He hung up. The medical board's ruling came 3 months later. Both my parents' licenses were revoked permanently. The board found systematic patient dismissal, failure to meet standard of care, and ethical violations regarding family medical treatment. My mother sent one email. I hope you're satisfied. You've destroyed our lives' work, our reputation, everything we built. All because we didn't take your complaints seriously enough. I responded once. You didn't take my dislocations, surgeries, and genetic disorder seriously at all. That's why you lost your licenses. Not because of me. Because of your patients. 6 months later, the Alexis Hayes Center for Rare Disease Research opened. The building was beautiful, state-of-the-art research facilities, patient advocacy offices, and a massive lobby with one message etched in glass: believe patients first. Dr. Kim was named director. Our research team included geneticists, pain specialists, and patient advocates, many of whom had been dismissed by medical professional family members. The opening ceremony drew national attention. I gave the keynote speech from my wheelchair, my service dog beside me. My parents are physicians. They had the knowledge to recognize my symptoms. They chose to dismiss them as anxiety because acknowledging my illness meant admitting they'd been wrong for years. I paused, looking at the hundreds of patients and families in attendance. This center exists because being right mattered more to them than my health. We're going to make sure that never happens to another patient. The standing ovation lasted 8 minutes. Afterward, dozens of patients approached with their stories. Parents who were nurses dismissing their children's symptoms. Siblings who were doctors calling their family members hypochondriacs. Spouses in healthcare minimizing their partner's pain. "You gave us permission to speak up," one woman said, crying. "My doctor father told everyone I was making up my lupus symptoms. I've been suffering in silence for years." "Not anymore," I said. "The center has advocacy programs specifically for patients with medical professional family members. You're not alone." 1 year after the center's opening, our research had identified over 300 cases of medical neglect by healthcare provider family members. The patterns were clear. Physicians, nurses, and medical administrators frequently dismissed family members' symptoms as anxiety, attention-seeking, or exaggeration. We published our findings in major medical journals, created training programs for medical schools, developed screening tools to identify at-risk patients. My parents' case became the foundational example, how even experienced physicians could let ego and family dynamics override medical judgment. Marcus reached out once. "I'm in therapy. My therapist is helping me understand what mom and dad did to you. I'm sorry I didn't believe you." I met him for coffee. He looked tired, older. "I see it now," he said. "How they trained me to dismiss you. How they used their credentials to make your pain seem fake." He paused. "Can you forgive me?" "I don't know yet. But I appreciate you recognizing the truth." "They're bitter. Broke. Dad works as a medical consultant now, the only job he could get without a license. Mom's essentially unemployable in healthcare. They made choices. So did I. Mine saved lives. Theirs ended careers." 2 years after the anniversary party, the Alexis Hayes Center had grown to 3 buildings. We'd helped over 1,000 patients get proper diagnoses after being dismissed by medical professional family members. Our research had changed how medical schools taught family dynamics and patient advocacy. And I'd built something my parents' dismissal could never touch. They sent occasional messages through Marcus. Apologies. Explanations. Request to talk. I archived them all without responding. Because some wounds don't heal with words. Some relationships don't survive the weight of years of denial and dismissal. I was the director of a nationally recognized medical center. A rare disease advocate. A patient rights champion. And I'd achieved it all while the people who should have believed me were busy deciding my pain was imaginary. The building with my name lit up every night. A beacon for patients who'd been dismissed, disbelieved, and told their suffering wasn't real. My parents had called me a hypochondriac. I'd turned that dismissal into a medical revolution. And every patient who walked through those doors proved them wrong. Sometimes the greatest success isn't proving people wrong. It's building something so meaningful that their opinions become irrelevant noise. I was exactly where I belonged. In a building bearing my name. Surrounded by patients I believed. Creating change my parents' careers had prevented. And finally, completely free from needing their validation. The lights of the Alexis Hayes Center shone bright. And they would keep shining long after my parents' dismissal faded into forgotten history. 3 years later, I received an invitation to present at the World Medical Summit on physician bias and family medical neglect. My parents would be in the audience. Marcus had told me they'd purchased tickets hoping to see me. I stood on that stage before 10,000 healthcare professionals and told the complete truth. My parents revoked my reality for 26 years. They had medical degrees and I had pain they couldn't see on imaging. So they decided my pain didn't exist. I paused. They were wrong. And their wrongness cost them everything while teaching me the most important lesson. Never let anyone, not even physicians, not even family, convince you that your suffering isn't real. In the audience I saw my mother crying. My father looking broken. I felt nothing but relief that their opinions no longer had power over my truth. I'd survived their dismissal, built an empire from their doubt, and proven that belief, in patience, in truth, in reality, matters more than any medical degree. The center bearing my name stood as permanent proof. And that was enough. After the summit, my father approached me in the corridor. Security moved to intercept, but I waved them off. Alexis, his voice cracked. Your presentation. I finally understand what we did to you. You understand that 10,000 people heard about it. That's different from actually understanding. We were wrong. Catastrophically wrong. I see that now. He looked older, diminished. Is there any way to fix this? No. I adjusted my wheelchair. But you can do something useful with your regret. Anything. The center needs physician advisors who understand how medical bias destroys patients. People who've lived the consequences of their dismissal. I met his eyes. You'd work under my director. Follow patient-first protocols. Use your mistakes to prevent others from making them. I'd be honored. I'm not offering redemption. I'm offering productive use of your guilt. Those are different things. He nodded slowly. I'll take it. I wheeled past him toward my team. Some bridges don't rebuild. But sometimes their rubble can become foundation for something better. The Hayes Center would continue growing. With or without them. But always because of what they taught me about survival.